for this kid. It might not be instant, but watch out for this kid. I think he's going to be good. Uncle Willie still got it.
Welcome back into Command Center Commanders family. We hope you had a great holiday. While we were away, we cooked up another special show for you today. It's all about the NFC East, baby. That's right, we dive into a divisional recap as the crew breaks down each team's offseason. And it's been an active offseason for the NFC East. We'll take a look at the top free agent moves for each team. And then at the end of the show, stay tuned because we have something very special for you that we think all the fans have been waiting to see. All that and more right now on Command Center. Welcome into Command Center. Hope you had an amazing 4th of July. I'm here with the best crew in the world, Mr. 8 to the 9, Santana Moss, the mouth of the South, Fred Smoot, and the prospect professor, Logan Paulson. I'm your host, Brian Cobra Jr. Now, fellas, y'all heard me say it. This is all about the NFC East because the NFC East was active this year, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk our biggest off-season moves in the NFC East. Now, you don't have to pick Commanders, but Tanner, I got a feeling you going to.
You know I am. and I feel like we had 2 huge pickups in the offseason, for this Commanders team. And I say the first one I have to talk about him, Deebo Samuel.
Deebo coming.
Look, Deebo's one of those guys. I think he's a mismatch ready to happen. He can play multiple, positions. He's a guy, when he's on the field, he's going to get other guys open just from his presence alone. So I think that was huge for our offense, just seeing where we was last year, because when you have what you call them force multiplier quarterback like Jaden Daniels, you don't necessarily need those key guys outside. And we already had a couple of them already here. So to bring in an additional guy to team up with our other guy, man, I just think he's one of those guys, man. He's going to raise hell.
Fred, what about you?
Man, I'm going to have to go to New York, and I don't like to go up there unless I'm getting cheesecake. But I'm going to tell you like this. I'm going to have to say Abdul Carter. You add Abdul Carter to Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Thibodeau. That's a formidable pass rush right there. I think that's the type of pass rush that can change games. The best thing we got going on them is only on the defensive side. They haven't found the outside quarterback yet, so that gives us a chance to dance. But I think when you put Abdul Carter right there, you set him up for success. You set him up to be one of the best pass rushers in the NFL.
And we'll talk more about that Giants offense a little later in the show. But Logan, which one stands out to you?
So I almost went George Pickens because I think that could be really impactful, positively and negatively for Dallas. But for me, it's Tunsil, man. Finding a left tackle that's going to help your young quarterback, help your offensive coordinator be more dynamic. The ability he brings as a pass protector, top 5 pass protecting offensive lineman in the NFL, that is a difference maker. Hard to find in the draft. Hard to find in free agency. So to go out and get that guy here, that changes the whole dynamic of this offense. Can't wait to have him here. Some big moves in the NFC East and even bigger moves in Commanders land. Adam Peters said right before the draft, we're ready to play right now, and that's because of successful free agency. Some major moves for the Commanders this offseason. I think we're all excited to see Laramie Tunsil and Deebo Samuels after what we've seen them do in their career already. Now, later on in the show, we're going to hear from the crew on who was their favorite free agent signing. But we also want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments who your favorite free agent signing was right now. And it wasn't just us getting busy during free agency. Let's take a look at some of the other big name free agents signed around the NFC East. Wide receiver George Pickens was traded to Dallas for a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. He's joining CeeDee Lamb. Then Javonte Williams, the running back out of North Carolina. He's a free agent from Denver. He will be going to the Cowboys to possibly be that lead back. Then, of course, Russell Wilson to the New York Giants. He was signed in free agency after last year spending time with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then somebody we're very familiar with, New York Giants wide receiver Darius Slayton, re-signed a 3-year deal worth $36 million. Then the Eagles brought their linebacker back. They re-signed Zach Bond to a 3-year, $51 million contract. Fellas, let's dive deep into the NFC East free agency. It's time for Securing the W, presented by Hercules Fence. Security in every job. Now, fellas, as we break down this NFC East, the division made some moves. Free agency was active. Logan, I'm going to start with you because we're talking the Giants right now. I think their biggest move was Russell Wilson, but also bringing in our favorite guy, Jameis Winston. How do you think they fared the free agency? I mean, did they draft Dart? I mean, the whole thing was kind of crazy, right? The whole thing was kind of crazy. I like Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I like Jameis Winston. I think they're both good football players. I think they both got their place, but I definitely don't want to be going into the season with those guys, right? Yeah. It adds to the drama. It adds to what people do well, It's just going to be a lot for them.
Step out the way and let the Giants Giants.
But
The Giants go
you know what I'm
Giants.
saying? I feel bad for Brian Dable almost, right? Because he hasn't had a person that can helm that offense in a good way since he's been there.
But have you found two quarterbacks that's so different? Like,
Dude, but
Russell
they're
is
so similar, though.
But Russell's so politician and James is just James. like I say, I believe by me sitting
I'm
this
excited
season,
to watch it, Fred. I'm excited
I
to
think
watch
James
it.
is going to get that job.
I think Russell Wilson don't get enough credit, though. I think he's one of those guys that's sneaky. He might be that guy that they need to kind of like, tone things down the offensive side and just, calm and probably move him in the right direction. I'm not saying he's probably going to be the starter throughout the whole year, but I think he's the great guy to kind of segue with to say, okay, we're going to need you to come out here and lead these guys, get them going, and then who knows, Dart might get thrown in.
I think that's the thing that's crazy about Russell Wilson. It's like he's a borderline Hall of Famer,
Yes.
right? But the last couple of years, it hasn't been that guy, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of on the downturn of that career. So can the leadership kind of right the ship? I don't know, man.
He
It'll
went
be
down here when he said, let's ride. That's when he went down here.
Russell Let's Ride Wilson in 2024 had over 2,400 passing yards. Jameis Winston had 2,100, over 2,100 passing yards. Wilson played 11 games.
Yeah.
Winston played 12. So it'll be very interesting to see who going to start for the New York Giants. And now we move on to the Cowboys. So of course I got to go over to the Cowboy killer.
Yeah.
The Cowboys made a big trade getting George Pickens. What do you think that means when you add a guy like Pickens to somebody like CeeDee Lamb and allow him to get a little more open?
I think for opponents, it can be scary just seeing both of those guys. We know what he did over there in Pittsburgh, and we also know what CeeDee Lamb has been doing year after year. But I also kind of scratch my head and like, do they have enough balls to go around? Will these guys, will one of these guys be that diva and say, well, I'm not getting the kind of attempts each and every week that I was getting before, and kind of make things kind of, strange for that offense and everything, and especially that. And I'm a big fan of that. I know people give that a lot of crap. I know him being a Cowboy, people probably like telling you, you're a fan of a Cowboy.
But you're not a hater.
I like him as a quarterback, just knowing that he has so much potential, and they kind of throw everything on him, and then when they don't win, or when they win, he gets a little credit. When they don't win, it's all blamed on him. But I just find it both ways. I look at it like, look, it could be scary if they know how to use these guys. Yeah. But also, one of those guys gonna be pissed about the ball coming around.
The only thing wrong with one diva,
It's
two divas.
Right? Only thing worse, right? Only thing worse.
And who knows better than you?
I'm just saying. I can see 1 week CD snapping because he ain't get the ball, and I can see another week where George Pickens is losing his mind because I'm on the contract year and you ain't getting me the ball. Like, so at the end of the day, it's a problem that I'm glad we don't have.
I mean, it literally might be the most impactful move for the entire division, right? You get a true number one X wide receiver to complement. And think about when Dak's been at his best. You mentioned Dak, Tanner. It's when they've got two weapons. One guy to take the top off, win those 50-50s on the field, and CD to win underneath. So it could be awesome, or it could burn down because they both crash out and they're both pissed off. That's the crazy thing about it.
And you talk about crash out. We've seen CeeDee Lamb on that sideline crash out. I'll tell you, you've been in that position before where you're the receiver on the team and they bring somebody in to kind of help you out. What goes through your mindset as a receiver when you ask him, is CeeDee Lamb happy? Is he feeling like, okay, now it's going to be a little easier for me? Or does it go to those touches immediately?
Well, I know you asking about a situation that I don't understand. I'm not aware of because I've never been a guy that looked at
who else
competition or someone coming in is gonna take the light off of me. You know what I mean? I'm a guy that can just blend in. I feel so confident and prideful of what I can do. I care less who you had over there. I was one of those guys that if you got 5 today, I gotta get 4. You know what I mean? I want to be in your hip pocket, or the next day I might be the one with 5, and you go. You know what I mean? So I don't know how it feels to be uncomfortable.
Special, though.
Yeah,
That's
I'm pretty sure,
Exactly.
but I'm pretty
That's
sure
rare,
I played with guys that didn't like that. So I can only imagine what it's going to probably look like. But I don't think those guys are going to have that kind of attitude towards it, knowing that they're trying to win a championship. They might have the same mindset.
George Pickens, 900 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Fred, we move on to Philly. They re-signed Zach Bond, had a great season with them after coming from New Orleans. How do you feel that re-signing was? And that honestly was probably their biggest move.
And that's the heart and soul of their team. Like, you're talking about a guy that worked his way from New Orleans to a special teams guy, rotational linebacker, to could have got the MVP in the Super Bowl, don't you think? Like, well-rounded player, a leader, somebody that gravitates. And they lost a lot of players. Let's not get it twisted. They lost the safety, C.J. Johnson. So they lost so many pieces. So many pieces. So I think they had to keep him in the middle, even though they have drafted well in that position. Those guys have been hurt, and he is the one that's going to keep everything together there. But hopefully, I'm just praying that they lost enough players and I think they kept their coordinators, so they good on that.
Yeah.
Then we got a chance to one-up them, but Zach Bond was one of the most important re-signings besides Wagner. Besides our guy Wagner.
I mean, when you watch that defense, like, he's the thing that drives it, man.
Yes.
His ability to rush, to cover, to tackle.
Everything.
Like, his ability as a hook player to cover so much ground, it makes the match system work. You know what I'm saying? And so to get him back, like, I was hoping he'd go someplace else so we'd have to see him every week. But, man, he did. It's hard to overstate how well he played last year.
Well, I think between Johnson and Slade, like, maybe they lost enough in the back end. They're going to have to try to find some ways to fill that gap.
Now, fellas, this was fun, but we got to clear our palate a little bit. Let's talk about our guys, because I don't like talking about Philly. I definitely don't like talking about New York. When you look at our free agents, we talked about that in depth, but real quick, give me your favorite or possibly biggest free agent signing or re-signing. Logan, I'm going to start with you.
Dude, to me, it's like easiest one is Laremy Tunsil, right? I mean, he's just an absolute maniac. Like, the fact that he's back in the fold here, like, it's sore to find a franchise left tackle. It's sore to do that. And to get that guy here in this building, how it elevates the offensive line.
Sometimes it's about keeping your own. Bobby Wagner, man. Like, let's be honest. Keep your own. El Capitan, Mr. Yellow Jacket. I'm just saying, I'm going to play forever. I'm never going to quit
100
football.
tackles a year.
This guy walks on the field and it's 110 tackles easy. And he does it with this quiet demeanor. And that's why I have to say I respect him, because he's very much like London in that way. Quiet demeanor. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you, and just follow me to the promised land. The only difference between the two of them is London never took us to the promised land.
Oh, gosh.
I was going to say the same thing, Bobby Wagner, but I will also add a guy like Zach Ertz. I think Zach Ertz didn't get enough credit for who he was to our offense last year, especially late in that postseason run. He was phenomenal.
Dynamic,
we were talking about that stat at one time. He was like 24 attempts for 24 catches. And
that's unbelievable.
Just talk about those moving those chains and those key moments in those games where we had to fight and claw and get back into those games. He was one of those guys that, the young quarterback went out to, and he went to a lot. When he needed him. So you can go Wagner, you can go Zach, but those guys like that is hard to have on a team like this. You're talking about a team that I don't think you can say that we went out there and rebuilt, but like how he said, we retooled this team, but you put key, veterans that played so well elsewhere that came here with that same kind of mantra and that same kind of mindset and led this team to almost to the promised land.
Fellas, what a free agency. Last year they killed it. It seemed like this year we killed it. It wasn't just the signings. It wasn't just the re-signings. It was also the trades we made. We got Deebo Samuel in the building as a new weapon for Jaden Daniels. And I caught up with him as soon as he got in the building, as soon as he put pen to paper on the Next Man Up podcast. Let's check it out. It's time for the best seat in the house, presented by SeatGeek. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Unlike all the other people that we've spoken to that came in and signed, you were acquired. We went out and got you, man. What went through your mind when you found out you were being traded to the Washington Commanders?
So what's so crazy is, I'm pretty familiar with AP for sure. Yeah. And before anything happened, I talked to Kyle, talked to John about, the next step of my journey, and it wasn't no like bickering back and forth. It was like we handled the conversation like grown men. But after they granted, me permission to go out there and seek a trade, I got on the phone with my agent. My agent texted me. He was like, "Yo, who's your top three?" And so people might think this is fraud, but like this was my number one.
Word. Okay.
So this was my number one because I've been watching JD a lot because of Brandon Ayuk. Yeah. That's Ayuk's right-hand man. So I seen him last year, and I'm just like, yo, man, like, these boys went to the NFC Championship, so they building something. And, me, my career, my journey with the Niners, is the NFC Championship. This is that and the third. So I'm just like, yo, like, they just went to the NFC Championship, so, like, they getting used to winning. So, like, why not? Yeah. So you get what I'm saying? And I'm kind of familiar with AP and kind of known Terry a good bit. So it's just like, man. And then once I got the call, like, crazy, because like it was my partner posted in his close friends because we had just landed in New York to watch the Tank fight. Okay. And we was on the plane, and John Lynch had called me and told me, it was like, yeah, man, it just happened. And I'm like, I'm landing to get ready for the fight, and I just start tweaking, like on the plane, like going crazy.
Because
like,
that's where you wanted to. This is where you wanted to be.
Yeah, it was crazy because I'm on the plane, like. John is like, man, how you feeling? Like, I didn't have any words at the time because it was so much excitement, and he was saying so much, but I was trying to pay attention to what he was saying, but I was just so excited in the moment. I'm just like, man, like, it was just a blessing to be here for sure.
Great catching up with one of the best to ever do it, Deebo Samuel Sr. Let's look at some of those career stats and why Commanders fans are so excited to have him in the building. Over 330 receptions with almost 4,800 receiving yards and 42 touchdowns. And that boy can run too. 202 carries for over 1,100 rushing yards. And I got a feeling Deebo Samuel's just getting started. So excited to see Deebo and all of our new guys out on that field, especially our rookies who will get their first taste of NFC East rivalry action week 1 when we take on the New York Giants. But before they got to that point, they had to have a dream fulfilled. That's right, when they were drafted in the 2025 NFL Draft. Let's take a look at some of the best moments for our rookies.
I'm just here to win. That's the goal, and that's what I came here to do.
Rainier Beach to DC, bro.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, is right, man.
Hello?
Hey, is this Trey?
Yes, sir.
Trey Amos go off the board at number 61. I had him number 28 overall.
I had a first-round grade on Trey Amos. He is long, fast, physical.
Hey, man, I just can't wait to put in work, man.
You hear the phone ring, the whole room gets quiet. AP's on the phone talking to me.
All right, well, we'll turn around and tell him you're going to be a true commander, man. You're a BMF. You're exactly what you want. You're a commander on our board.
Has a really unique instinct with the ball in his hands. He's got a nose for the sticks and first down.
I also had a thought in the back of my mind, like, I want to be with Coach Norton.
Hey, Kane, what's up?
What up, Coach?
Congratulations.
Corey Krosky Merritt. This guy's one of my favorite sleepers in the entire draft class.
Hey, make some noise, man.
All I can say is, I'm ready for a new season.
What you guys mean to the city, what you mean to the team, what you mean to winning.
Hats off to you guys for always staying true and through. And I'm just happy that we have a team that we can really cheer for now.
Really pumped that we had another commander of the building.
Now it's time for Top 5, presented by UA Local 5 Plumbers, protecting the health of the nation's capital since 1890. Now we're taking a look at the first-round picks across the NFC East in the 2025 NFL Draft. You see Abdul Carter went to the Giants at 3. Tyler Booker, the offensive guard from Dallas, went number 12. Then the quarterback Jackson Darts went to the Giants.
Quarterback name, Fred.
Yes. Quarterback name, like Fred always says, at number 25. Then our guy, JCJ, Josh Connolly Jr., the offensive tackle out of Oregon, came to us at 29. Then at 31, linebacker Jahad Campbell out of Alabama. Fellas, those are our first-round picks. However, it was an extremely busy draft across the whole NFC East. So we're going to have Logan here to break it down for us. We're going to start worst, decent. Giants first. Logan, take it away.
Yeah, so kind of like the most impactful picks, right? It's not the names you're going to think. Maybe Fred might think because he's pretty good at this draft thing. But I look at Abdul Carter as a guy that is a dominant pass rusher. And then a sneakier one is Darius Alexander, the defensive tackle from Toledo, right? His ability to remember, Fred, we talked about Burns, we talked about Thibodeau, we talked about Dexter Lawrence. Now we've got some depth at that four technique. We got some guys, some juice. One of the best natural pass rushers I've seen. That's going to be an impactful group, I think, in terms of rushing the passer, making that defensive line better.
Well, I think Cam Scatterboo is a steal for me.
You love this guy, man.
The one thing about it, I love guys that you can't figure out why they're so good. He's not the fastest, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest. But I think if you did an X-ray on his heart, there's a dog in there. Right? So all I'm saying is, Cam Scatterboo, watch out for him.
Name like Scatterboo.
That's a football name.
So big names on this list, but now we got to go to another worst, the Dallas Cowboys. Logan, take it away.
Yeah, so to me, everyone says Tyler Booker's the first pick, but I don't know, man. Like, he's going to play, but to me, it's not even as a rock.
Thank you.
Paired with Micah Parsons, I know you loved him, Fred, his ability to rush the passer. Second in the nation in sacks last year in college. That's really interesting. But another kind of sneaky one way down here on the list is Jay Toya from UCLA. One of the best run-stopping defensive tackles in college football last year. 350 pounds, built like a fire hydrant. And what have they had a hard time with?
Stopping the run,
right? So let's get a guy in there that can get that done for him. So I think those are going to be two great additions to that defense.
How could you look past Siobhan Rivera Jr.?
Man, I'm not trying to go obvious here, man. That's a cut.
6'3", 4'3", 40. I think he's a faster version of Richard Sherman. I think he was a steal.
He didn't even run a 40, man. What are you talking about?
No. They timed him the year before his injury. And you know it was a 4'3". Thank you, sir.
Way to clean that up, Fred. All right, last but not least, definitely least actually, the Philadelphia Eagles right here. Logan, what we got, buddy?
Yeah, so obviously I'm really excited about Jahan Campbell, Andrew Mbuka from Texas. Like, I think they fit roles, right? So Garner Johnson's leaving. But this guy, Ty Robinson Jr., for a group that is trying to constantly replace defensive linemen, he was the most athletic defensive tackle at the combine, right? So let's take a chance on a traitsy, athletic dude. And then, again, way down here on this list, Miles Hinton was a guy that I was watching film, grinding the tape, man, getting after it, 170 guys I watched, right? And I was like, this guy could start in the NFL right now. And so who left? Mekhi Becton. And who'd they draft? This dude from Michigan who is a polished, smart, professional football player. He's 24 years old, a little bit older, but I think you could fill in right now for him.
I always take a Michigan offensive line. Like, I don't even have to know the name.
And Fred, 6'6", like 340.
Big old house.
Yeah, big old house.
But I'm going to tell you what really made my frown turn upside down on draft day was Jahan Campbell being called by the Philadelphia Eagles. The rich get richer. Like, I'm talking about one of the most versatile linebackers in this draft.
You worried about the shoulder at all, Fred?
I'm not worried about the shoulder. I know guys come from Alabama, they be kind of beat up, going down a little bit. But his talent, his upside is just unbelievable.
And you talk about the rich getting richer. I feel like we pretty rich, and I feel like we got richer as well. And we've had a chance to see all of our rookies out on that field. Tanner, I'm going to start with you. Which rookie so far has stood out the most to you?
I'm gonna say J.C. Merritt. I think one of the things that we look at his, I guess you can say his skill set, and when you watched him play in college for the short period of time that he played this last year, I mean, you saw how dynamic he was with the ball in his hand. You saw how elusive he was. He's like that home run hitter. But then you see him in camp here. In the spring, I know they ain't got no pass, but he looks like a running back. Running back.
How big is he, man? He's so big.
He doesn't look like a scat back. He doesn't look like a guy that you saw him break those long runs. He looked like a guy that you can get a ball to 3 and 4 times in the drive. So I'm talking about, the first 3 plays out of the, those first 3 downs. So he's a guy that's impressed me. And like I said before, I know they're not in pass, but just from the eye test, he passed that part.
JCM, offensive MVP from the Senior Bowl, but barely played at all last year. Real excited about that. Fred, you up, brother?
I got to say, he got a little Willis McGahee in him. I like that. I like that. So, but Kenny Madrono is my guy. UCLA. Listen, a linebacker that runs a 4.4 that I can play at the big nickel, I can move anywhere. He's shown to be able to do a little bit of everything. I can chase things down, sideline to sideline. I can rush if you need me to, and I can cover if you need me to. Watch out for this kid. It might not be instant, but watch out for this kid. I think he's gonna be good.
That kid is locked in. Now, Logan, he took UCLA, boy. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the corner, man. Trey Amos, man. Again, I liked his film, but watching him come here and against varsity football players, man, he was playing ball now. The way he tracks the football, his length, his instincts, the fact he's been in multiple defenses, like I think that's gonna play really well. So talking about rich getting richer, man. I think he's a valuable asset in the second round. Love that.
Fellas, y'all made it easy on me because my guy's Josh Connolly Jr. Not just because he's gonna be the man, but because he gave us the Josh Connolly challenge. Fred, I feel like you might be ready to hit a Connolly challenge. What you think?
I got a surprise for y'all. I'm gonna do that on the next Get Live. I'm gonna do that Josh Connolly challenge. Give me a chance to practice it a couple of times.
Fred, I was gonna help you today. No one's gonna be there to help you.
And speaking of Get Loud, we got that clip right there. Let's go to it right now.
You gonna do the Connolly challenge? I saw Logan do it.
Logan did do it. Logan still works out.
Offensive line challenge. Fred, you can't do this.
I'm going to try the Connolly challenge at home with my kids first, and then I'll do it on video. I don't know if I still got it, Jinx. I'm still in good health.
You look good. You're in good shape.
But to be popping up like that, then backing up in that back, like.
If I did that, I thought about doing it for a second because my mind,
I would love to see your pair of white legs do it.
My hip would pop out of my socket. I was like, do not be stupid, Michael. You know better.
I'm going to do it. I'm not guaranteeing anything.
Okay.
But I'm going to do it. Logan loves to challenge me, by the way. And he acts like he's not younger than me. But I will take the Connolly challenge. I will try. All right? Maybe I should jump out of pool doing it to one-up Logan.
Oh.
There's nobody on earth with more confidence than Fred Smoot. It's time for your Kansas moment presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders. And as always, Logan Paulson found a way to finesse my boy Fred into doing something ridiculous. Now, Fred did tell us all he was going to do it today. However, he's nursing a bad toe. Yeah. My boy got gout, so we're going to chill out on this one while he gets ready to get loud. However, Logan moved the entire earth with his Josh Connolly challenge. Yeah. Logan, you said you would run it back for us since Fred is scared.
Putting the pants on? I don't know.
Let's see
them pants are
I
bursting
cannot wait to see you fail. Oh, there you go.
Please don't hurt us, Logan. Oh my God. My whole life just flashed before my eyes.
You can tell me still work out.
You can tell me still work out. Yeah. I need to calm down a little bit.
Cuddly Charlie.
We will get a first taste of the NFC East rivalries the opening week of the season when we take on the Giants. Fellas, we know how tough those divisional matchups are. Let's take a look at all of our divisional matchups for the 2025 season. It's time for your winning numbers presented by the Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. And this week's winning numbers are our divisional matchups. Look at that schedule right there. Week 1, we get it out the gate against the New York Giants. Then week 7, we take on the Dallas Cowboys. Week 15, the Giants. Week 16 will be our first time taking on Philly. Then week 17, Dallas. Then week 18, Philly. 4 straight divisional games to end the regular season. And we want you there, Commanders family. Make sure you secure those tickets right now at commanders.com/tickets.
Joe Gibbs, NFL Coach of the Year in his second season. Victory for old DC.
There's something special in these stitches. Because sewn into this fabric is all that was once good in Washington.
And I want you to know that each one of you has a small piece of this trophy today.
It's the grit and the glory. It's a city brought together with a spirit that made steel shake and opponents quake. It's 3 Lombardis, earned, not given. This isn't just a uniform. It's a reminder of who we've always been. Because history doesn't fade. It fuels the future. It's the same fight, same pride, same city behind it. We wear the past like armor, but we fight for what's next.
And since we're talking New Jerseys, there's nobody better to hear from than our guy, Brian Mitchell, future Hall of Famer Brian Mitchell, who got to wear this jersey when he won his Super Bowl. B. Mitch, how you feeling about these new jerseys, brother?
B, I'm absolutely excited, ecstatic about them going back to those jerseys because you know what? We won a Super Bowl in those jerseys. I returned my first touchdown ever in the NFL in that white jersey and my last one for the Washington Redskins in that white jersey. Listen, man, I went back and looked at a lot of highlights, and I think almost every touchdown I returned in a Washington uniform was in the white jersey, I think except one. You know what? So it lets you know, when we put on those white jerseys, great things are going to happen. You look at the glory years, people consider this team from 1991 the best football team ever. We wore those white jerseys a lot, and we wore them on January 26, 1992. When we won that great Super Bowl. So you know what? When they put on those jerseys, looking at the team now with the same type of mindset, that great work ethic, I believe that they're going to go out there and have the same type of success that we had then. Not promising the Super Bowl, but I'm saying, you know what? They're doing the work and they're doing the things they need to do to get back there. White jerseys, old school jerseys coming back, and the success will be coming with it.
Nobody better to get us excited for the Super Bowl era alternate jerseys for the Commanders, which we have right here. Then Brian Mitchell, you see he wore those. Now we won 3 Super Bowls in these style of jerseys, and there's one person on this set that wore this jersey during his playing career, and that is no other than Mr. 2 to the 1. Fred Smooth. Fred, boy, look, he can still go out there and play.
Uncle Willie still got it. This is what y'all need to understand. Uncle Willie still got it, and I took pride in wearing these jerseys. The 01 team was the last team to wear it. We also were the last team to do training camp in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We haven't been back there since. So for them to bring these jerseys back makes me feel like Uncle Willie still got
Logan, you look like you got pads on right now. How great is it to put that jersey back on?
I love it, man. I love the history in this jersey. You know what I'm saying? It's special, man. So it's cool to kind of, if they're coming back to Super Bowl era, it's pretty special.
And Tanner, right before you got here, they stopped wearing these jerseys. But I see that smile on your face. I know it means a lot to you. To see these guys, but you know what it means to the fan base to see these jerseys, man. Speak on that a little.
You know, it's huge because all the fans been talking about, just bringing something back from our era.
The nostalgia.
You know what I mean? So I think when you look at this, man, it almost like if you blink fast, you're almost thinking about, the last franchise that that was here before the Washington football team that wore these colors, man.
The Super Bowl era alternate jerseys. And fellas, I feel like we're in our Super Bowl era. Like the kids would say, right? Commanders family, y'all are in your Super Bowl era. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us on Command Center. For Logan Paulson, Fritz, he looked ready to go. Boy, that jersey about to bust open. Thanks to the Don Santana Ball. We about this thing. We gonna peel Fred about this jersey.
He gave him a first down.